Hello, and welcome to Aesop Grimm's Chronicles, where the emphasis is on immersion and storytelling. While some games contain mature themes or language, you can expect clean commentary from me as a narrator. Additionally, I will provide a content summary in the intro video for each chronicled series, so no one is blindsided or surprised. Let's play a story. All right, welcome everybody. Aesop Grimm here, and this is the intro for a second chronicle, chronicle number 2 in the tutorial series that I'm doing for Endless Space 2. Now, this is not me teaching you, this is me playing the tutorial, and I learned something pretty integral in the last one that convinced me that it was a good time to start a second attempt at that. But let's get the ratings out of the way first. That's the up front and center portion of these intro videos. I'm going to give you an abridged version. If you want a more fleshed out version, you can look at the intro video for Chronicle number 1. Peggy rates it at age 7. Now they're not telling you that this game would appeal to 7-year-olds. They're rating the content and giving it's like a movie system rating. You know, is it PG? Is it PG-13? Is it G? And they're saying kids 7 years and older, it's probably okay for them. That's their assessment. They do knock it for violence that is not shown but implied. ESRB gives it an age of 10 plus. They also knock it for a little bit of violence. It's like minor violence. This is a map game for a large part, but it does have cutscenes. Some cutscenes also depict shooting action, and then they talk about a handful of female characters wear outfits that reveal moderate amounts of cleavage. Common Sense Media, my go-to rating system, actually gives it age 12 plus. And this one I will read to you. What parents need to know. Parents need to know that Endless Space 2 is a downloadable strategy game focused on galactic exploration and expansion, exploitation of resources, and extermination of rival factions. Combat plays an essential role but involves no graphic violence. Players see ships shooting each other in space and simple holographic representations of tiny soldiers lining up on either side of a battlefield and shooting each other in ground wars, but with no blood, gore, or dead bodies. It involves alien species and planets, but most players will easily recognize the type of civil conflicts that take place, as well as their triggers, including territorial disputes, economic upheaval, opposed ideologies, rapid technological advancement, and religious aggression. The game leaves moral judgment and strategies up to the player, providing various options and routes to victory, some decidedly more antagonistic than others. Okay, so there's your content briefing. Again, if you want a little bit more, this one pretty much hit it, but if you want a little bit more, the intro in Chronicle 1 gives a touch more. What are we doing here? Well, in the last Chronicle, the major thing that I learned I was making a mistake on is I could not figure out how to colonize within system. I had basically forgotten. I knew this at one point in time, but I'm fairly new to the game, and I've been learning this thing piecemeal over the years. Much like I did with Stellaris. It's just a little bit at a time over a period of years. I've owned this game for a while. And I used to know that, but I could not remember it for that last series. I finally, at the end of the series, remembered to look it up on Google. That was another problem I was having, was whenever I would record the next video, I had forgotten to check online to see, hey, how do I colonize within a system I already own? And I learned that you have to do it through the same interface that you do system improvements. Well, that was a really big deal because that absolutely crippled us as far as growth. And there at the end of the last series, you could see that there was already a foreign empire that was closing in on a conquest victory. So we're going to restart it. We're going to play the tutorial again. We're going to play as the empire because that's what the tutorial does for you. And we're going to see how we do now that I know how to do that. And all of this is in preparation for just a normal playthrough, which will introduce a lot more options. So really, that's kind of it. This doesn't need to be very lengthy. Intro number 1 went through a lot more. Chronicle number 1's intro gave a lot more backstory and explanation on on this game, but if you're watching Chronicle number 2, I'm going to assume that you already at least took a glance at Chronicle number 1 and sort of thumbed your way through it, and that you don't need any more prep than what I've already given. So we're going to close this video out. Again, I'm Aesop Grimm. Thanks for coming by the channel, and I will see you in the next episode where this story begins. Thanks for visiting Aesop Grimm's Chronicles. If you've made it this far in the video, please consider rating, commenting, subscribing, and sharing. I hope to see you in the next episode, and until then, stay shiny.